This is Stirling Talks. Hello, good morning, everyone. Wilson back here with you again. Another Wednesday with Wilson right here. You know, I love, and it's funny here being on the radio because it's radio. You can't see it, but we've had so many artists on recently talking about it, and it is a little bit of a challenge to talk about art sometimes. But I do love doing it, and I love it when we meet all these artists here. And a friend of mine at Give a Dog a Bone said, "Oh, you've got to talk to this Lesley Anne. You've got to talk to this. She's great. And I'm like, yeah. No, you've got to do it the next week. And kept saying and kept mentioning. And finally, I looked up on Instagram, where she doesn't post a lot. I'm going to give her a hard time to post more. And I thought, okay, yeah, no, she's completely right. So our artist, our guest this morning is Lesley Anne Derks. Hello.
Hello.
Thank you so much for joining me, and I apologize that it took a little bit of a twisting of the arm to get you here, but I am so glad. If someone meets you in an elevator and you say, "Oh, I'm an artist," and they say, "What kind of art do you do?" What would you tell them?
I would say I paint cityscapes at night. Yeah. That'd be my thing.
That's perfect. Yeah. So we're just going to cut right through it right here. When you go to her Instagram, where you need to post more, you go to her website, you're going to see these pictures. And I love all art, I love all pictures. But to me personally, there's something about cityscapes and pictures at night with what you can do with the light, the way that it travels, and the nighttime scenes. You can tell that you really see that. You're really inspired by these, aren't you? These images.
Absolutely. Yeah, I'm always looking at the night and just feeling it and totally inspired.
So when you go, you're going to see a lot of different cities. If I'm right here, correct me if I'm wrong, but most of what your people will see of your work are places that you've visited. These are things that you've seen with your own eyes, right?
Yep, I try to do that. Sometimes if I'm working with commissions, I'll work from other people's images. But when I'm doing my own work, I want to take the image. And
we're talking images all the way from, San Francisco, New York. You've been lucky to travel all over the place. When you're traveling, and first of all, traveling is crazy. Do you go to a place and you're like, "Oh, I'm going to get some ideas here or something," or are you just walking down the street and you take a picture with your mind's eye? Like, how does that work for you when you're on the road like that?
Yeah, I'm really bad at actually checking out an area first. It's more about just going and just soaking it up and just thinking, right, this is actually where I want to take. So I don't actually, a lot of time, go in with a set intention about what I'm going to photograph. I just, especially at San Francisco or somewhere like that, I just remember getting out of the taxi and thinking, my God, I feel like I've been here before. It was that, but then you don't realise how many movies it's been in or things like that. But for there, it was just like literally walking the streets at night and actually thinking, this is really interesting. I want to photograph this and paint it.
So that's how it works. You take a picture and then you come back.
I do, yeah. Initially, maybe years ago, because I'm very influenced by Grangemouth and industry from Grangemouth. That's where all my sort of cityscape, the nighttime, the flares and industry is really inspired me. I'd sit in my car and I would draw. Right. But obviously it was on my doorstep, and I would do that. But a bit more when I'm out travelling, when I've been travelling, it's much more just getting the camera ready and just taking hundreds and hundreds of photographs and hoping there's just something I capture.
I'm picturing you in San Francisco. And I've been to San Francisco quite a few times. We mentioned that before we went on air here. It is really just one of those cities that is just so different. American, but yet in some ways kind of not. And international, and, London, New York, Paris gets all the hype. I think San Francisco should be in there because just the beautiful scene. But I'm picturing you getting out of a taxi, and does it just catch your eye? Or
it just, and I'd get out taxis, even especially when I was in New York with a friend who had lived in New York. I was getting the taxi to stop, as we were driving about, and she's shouting at me to get back in the taxi because the taxi driver's getting annoyed. But I was just like, I just need to get this image now. Do you know what I mean? I think it was the Flatiron building one time. It was just the way the taxi came in. I was like, you have to stop the car now, kind of thing. So getting taxis about and jumping out.
I've known a few New York cabbies, that taxi drivers there. That's, I can imagine some of the words that were said right there. Forget about it. So we've got your work here. You've got you've participated in quite a few shows over the years. Obviously, you've got a couple of events coming up, don't you?
Yeah, I'm taking part. I've got a show in Scotland Art in July and about Glasgow Heritage and that. So I've got that coming up. So I'm working on new pieces for that. And I'm always trying to find different ways to do light, so I'm quite excited about the new work I'm doing for that. So I've got that coming up. I've also taken part in the Open Studios Falkirk, so there's quite a few artists I've taken part in that, so really it's worthwhile looking up their Facebook and Instagram page, and we're regularly doing updates about what the artists are up to and what shows are coming up. So we've got that coming up, and that's September. I'm trying to think what else. Yeah, no, there's quite a few things.
So any new cityscapes going to be part of these shows? Anything? I don't want you to give it all away, but maybe a little preview?
I'm mainly... It's more sort of Scotland based actually, so I'm kind of doing that, but more so there's maybe a few interiors, places like that, and it's also maybe just different ways of working, because I'm always looking for, different ways to create light, so I'm always looking for new ideas. So just now I'm working on, different bases. It might be like I work on wood or canvas, but just now I'm working on metal, so I'm really enjoying that, and just the reflective qualities I can get from that as well.
That's fascinating. That's amazing. So here at Stirling Community Radio, we work with a lot of young people that come in and, get them on podcasts and speaking and all this kind of good stuff. You also work with young people, don't you?
I do, yes. I work at Forth Valley College, so I work there 2 days a week.
Yeah. What is that like for you to kind of, after all of these travels and all these years creating and learning your craft and everything and being creative, to see a young person and to have maybe that light bulb go off at a moment where you see that they get it?
Yeah, no, it's really rewarding. Yeah. I just love it, and I love the sort of balance from being in my studio to being in an environment where I'm around a lot of people, so it's quite... Yeah, no, it is. It's great, and it's great to bring your experience, to students, and and just the fact that you can, make a living as an artist. So there's these opportunities and stuff, and
that's a big thing now, because back in my day when I was coming up, you always had to have a fallback plan if you're doing something creative or something like that. It's really not. You don't have to do that. Like if you want to do it, learn a bit and then just go do it.
Yeah, no, definitely. Just go for it.
Yeah, that's good. Now there'll be somebody listening to this, I know. Probably an old fuddy-duddy like me and be like, I could never learn how to do that. Or do you ever get anybody who's like, I could never learn to do art, or even just some basic stuff or anything? Really, anyone could learn to create. It's all just in different ways, right?
Absolutely. I mean, I teach evening classes, where people have maybe returning to art after years away from high school or whatever, or they're maybe retired and they just want to get back into it, but come with the, maybe the sort of... just believing that they can't really learn anything. They want to try something new, but they just can't. They feel like that it's maybe too late or that. No, absolutely. I mean, definitely is practice. Do you know what I mean? When I think back to my early work, I think it's just having that awareness that you're going to get better, and just having the confidence to make mistakes, and just going with the flow kind of thing.
Is it different when you see a young person and the light bulb you see that they get it? You see that they grasp a concept. I just did that. And an older person, because I love this now, because I'm interested in getting involved in some different things, and never thought I'd do this, never thought I'd do that. Is there a difference when you see a young person getting an older person who thought that their moment had passed, and all of a sudden they're like, oh no, I can do this?
Not really, to be honest. It's really rewarding. You know what I mean? What you're saying is like sometimes you see that light bulb, especially with students, if you show them a technique and they're like, do you know what I mean? I know when I can do that. And do you know what's really interesting? How people take maybe what you show them and completely interpret a different way. That's amazing. So I'm always learning from the students, and I'm always learning from my classes, and I feel like my students are always learning from each other. So sometimes I sometimes feel a bit redundant, to be honest, because in the sense that like they're getting inspired by so many other things that are going on. And no, I think it's rewarding in both cases, because people might think, I'll never, I've maybe...
Well, yeah, but you're the spark that lit that. Like that wouldn't have happened if you hadn't kind of got them all going. So I can't see you being redundant in anything. So we've got this. We've talked about your travels and all that. You've got these shows coming up, which is mainly Scotland and all that kind of stuff coming up here. Where would you love to go that you haven't been, that you think you might get some amazing creative juices going? Is there a location you haven't been that you'd like to go?
Yeah, there's a couple of places I'd like to go. I'd love to go to Japan. I would love, I don't know, even though mainly focus on cityscapes. I'm really fascinated by the light at the moment and all the reflective qualities. So I think Japan, because I've been to Hong Kong, and I really loved that, and I'd like to go to Japan, and I'd quite like to. I love blossom and things like that, so I'd quite like to go to there, and I'd also like to go to East Africa, just kind of like maybe like a safari. It's so completely different, but I just think the light would be just fascinating. You know what I mean? I just think the light, somewhere in like Africa, and just the subject matter. So they're my two places on my list.
We'll have a link up on our social media. I do encourage you, because hearing you talk about the light, that's the thing when I look at your work, the way the light travels in your work, and just the reflections and the echoes. I don't know if light echoes, but I look at your work and I see light echoing in the shadows and all this kind of stuff. It's absolutely fascinating. Where can people find out more and see your work?
Yeah, so if you look at my work on Instagram, Lesley Anne Derks Artist, and the same on Facebook.
Find out more there. We'll have that linked up for you, like I said, in our social media. So we are a radio station, right? We play a lot of music and everything. I know, you knew it was coming. Here's my gotcha question, all right? What was your very first concert?
Oh my goodness, that you really have got me.
What was your very first concert?
Back. Oh my goodness, I did go to Take That when I was really young.
Right, that's not bad.
Yeah.
That's not bad. And we've all got our moments in the early days.
I know, I wish you'd warned me about this.
Well, I can't warn you, because these are the moments people tune in for. So what was the first piece of music you bought with your own money?
Oh my goodness, I think it was something like, oh God, who was it? What's the song Toy Soldier? Is it mad?
Oh, Martika.
I
remember that one. No, I remember that one. No, that's not bad. That's a bit of a deep song, though, wasn't it?
Yeah.
It's a heavy song.
I remember buying something like that.
Wow, okay. No, we haven't had anyone mention that one. That's a good one. That is a great song. I don't know if do we have that on the playlist? I might have to dig that one up, because I like that one. I haven't heard that in a while. Whoa. The mood just changed. Things just got very deep. If you don't know that Martika Toy Soldier song, we're going to see if we can find it. I don't know if we have that in the library. Anyway, so that was good. So you are multitudes of, take that to Martika Toy Soldiers. That's a bit of a jump there.
And a bit of 90s dance.
Oh,
yeah, old school. That's my thing. That's what I like to paint to.
Oh, yeah. So, okay, well, that's a good. What do you paint to?
Yeah, music like dance list. Like, it's like sort of dance music. Like, I do like to paint to something like that. I listen to the radio, and I like that combination of chat and music, obviously. So I like that. But yeah, that's my sort of...
Well, we like hearing that here on Stirling Community Radio. Listen, great stuff. We're looking forward to seeing more of your work at these shows upcoming. Again, we'll have it linked up for you on our social media. Make sure you follow us on Facebook, please. We're doing well on Instagram. We could use some help on the Facebook page. So please follow us there at Stirling Talks Radio. Thank you so much. This has been really fun.
Oh, thank you so much for having me. Thank you.
Good stuff. We'll have to have you come back when you get one of these shows going. This will be good. This is Stirling Community Radio, Stirling Talks.